was Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic averaged 25 points, 7.5 assists, 9 rebounds per game. He led the NBA in triple-doubles, 17. Before he got injured this past season, he was in the MVP conversation, top 5 in the league. In the league, he has been a meteorite that has been ascending. And the one thing I can say about him is there's certain players that when you see them on the court, he's must-watch TV. Zubin, you talked about that earlier in the segment about Giannis, about you felt like it was hard. Giannis doesn't pull you to the TV screen to watch. Every time Luka Doncic is playing, I'm watching that damn game because he makes the game easier for everybody else around him. He sees things before it happens. He doesn't have the explosiveness like LeBron did at this stage of his career, but his skill set is off the charts, man. He can get to anywhere he wants to get on the court. He can score over anybody. And I'm telling you, there's certain guys, the game plays fast. He sees the game slow. Play fast, think slow. That's what Luka Doncic is in a dime, 24/7, all the time.
He's certainly up there on the list. I mean, there's no question about it. And I think as you start to think about some of the players, I think you're going to fall into the same category with Giannis as LeBron James, where there's Giannis fatigue, and Giannis hasn't even delivered a championship yet, and he's been in the playoffs several times. So it's kind of he keeps getting bounced. So they're not going to reward him for those things. Anthony Davis, another big for the Lakers, is kind of going to split those conversations between LeBron, a teammate of his, and himself, so he's not going to win out on those things. You think about Steph Curry. Steph Curry, depending on where he would bring the Golden State Warriors to, if he all of a sudden, the Golden State Warriors are at the top of the Heat, then you can't leave out Steph Curry because that means he's done some magical stuff to get them in that conversation. And then I think lastly, Kawhi Leonard. Can Kawhi Leonard get through with the Lakers and Ty Lue as the new coach and give you something that makes you believe that the Clippers can go on and win the championship?
Key, I will say one dark horse, you can't look them over just because I think they are going to be the most polarizing team in the NBA if he's able to stay healthy is Kevin Durant.
Well, yeah,
Kevin
of course,
Durant is one of the most prolific scorers we've ever seen. Just you got to, he's a dark horse in this whole thing because if him and Kyrie start clicking at the right time, like between things that they're going to say, between things that they won't say, between IG stories and them going IG live, I'm just telling you, they're going to be the most talked about team in the NBA this year because of the electricity that they have between the two of them.
Couple of points here, fellas, before we get back into some more NFL talk in just a bit. Jay's got Luka Doncic as the favorite to win. He just said it. He's also the betting favorite to win, courtesy of Caesars William Hill. So Jay comes from that NBA experience perspective and the gambling perspective also on the Mavericks' young superstar. To Key's point, today, Key, believe it or not, is the 65th day since LeBron won the championship. So it's been just over 2 months. They clinched the championship on a Sunday night, October 11th. It's been just 65 days. It'll be 71 days.
I love you, Zubin, man. I said a month or so. Zubin went right to the numbers. 65 days until the day.
But I'm just accentuating your point.
Which is
No, I just love it, though. I can always count on you, Zubin, to make sure that the numbers are correct.
Right, and the thing about it is I'm just accentuating your point that it's really no off season at all. If you're basically talking 2+ months, it'll be 71 days until they get back on the floor. Last thing I want to say on the MVP chatter, and I agree, back in the old days, to Key's point, storyline. You can't give it to Michael every year. Let's give it to Charles Barkley one year. Let's give it to Karl Malone one year because of the storyline. But keep in mind here, just in the last decade, and you fellas know this, we've had repeat winners just this last decade. I'm talking like 2010 to 2020. LeBron's won it twice in a row. Steph won it twice in a row. And Giannis has won it twice in a row. So the storyline perspective is there, but the voters have shown if there's somebody overwhelmingly there to win it, they will give it to you back to back. Keyshawn J. Will Zubin, presented by Progressive Insurance. Quoting home insurance just got easier with Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Quote and buy all online at progressive.com. On the way, Jerry has said Mike's coming back next year to coach the Cowboys. Jerry's son, Steven, has said Mike's coming back next year to coach the Cowboys. But our NFL insider says, well, he'll tell you after Jay has this.
Free shipping is great. Free shipping, no minimum?
Thomas, so much good basketball tonight. We got to witness the Houston Rockets and Dallas Mavericks. We talked about it in the pregame. Zeke, I'll start with you. We talked about the backcourt. We talked about John Wall, James Harden. We saw what the Rockets were trying to do, but ultimately Luka had his best game.
I mean, Luka had his best game, and so did Tim Hardaway. I mean, Tim Hardaway, was knocking it down, but Luka was able to exert his presence throughout the game, and I thought Hardaway was a great compliment to him tonight. They couldn't seem to find an answer for Luka, and every time they did, Hardaway was there to answer the bell. So the 1-2 punch of Luka and Hardaway was just too much for the Rockets to handle tonight.
They combined for 63 points tonight. Luka with his first triple-double of the season, his 26th triple-double of his career. Top of the list for players under the age of 23. Coach, he obviously did have his best game of the season.
Yeah, when you think about this, his two best games so far in this early season have been against the Clippers and the Houston Rockets. And tonight I was interested in seeing this against the Rockets. Look at Luka right here. He's just dancing with P.J. Tucker right there. And now he sucks the defense in and throws the lob over the top of the defense to Willie Cauley-Stein. Here's Luka again coming up to the top. P.J. Tucker on him. He rejects the screen, and then again, he puts James Harden in the lean to shoot over the defender. And here's Luka again right here on the switch, right? Now, you know the big guy is going to be in trouble trying to dance with the Luka. And there's Luka. Instead of dancing with him, he drops it off to Tim Hardaway Jr. for a big shot in the corner. No, not Tim Hardaway Jr. in the corner, one of his other Dallas teammates. So, look, Luka's been struggling, but against the good teams and against James Harden and John Wall in that tremendous backcourt of Houston, he was the best player tonight.
Indeed he was. That was Josh Richardson knocking down the shot. You heard me mention it moments ago. Thank you, StatMuse. I saw this on Twitter. Most triple-doubles before turning 22. Luka is at the top of the list with 26. You see one Hall of Famer in Magic Johnson, and then you see Ben Simmons. Great company to be in. Wow. I mean, we've talked about Luka. We've seen, pre-game, we were talking about maybe he didn't come into the best shape, but Zeke, obviously, he's playing his way into great shape right now with his performance.
I mean, and that's the unique thing about Luka and also about Harden, who didn't have a great game tonight. I mean, these guys are so talented and they're so good that they can come in out of shape and still put up these kind of numbers and play themselves into shape. And when they get in shape, I mean, they're some of the best who have ever done it. And the list that you just had up, when you talk about, Ben and Magic and Luka, the difference between Luka and Magic and Ben is that Luka is getting 25, 26 points a night. He's a three-point threat. He can really shoot it. Ben and Magic, they impacted the stat sheet a lot of different ways, but none of them impacted it the way Luka does from a scoring standpoint. So, I mean, what he's doing is really off the charts and very unique for our league to see a player like this.
Unique indeed. And we have to keep you updated on everything going on with Steph Curry. Apparently, he is out there